Look out! Here come former SportsCenter anchor Bob Stevens, esteemed basketball coach Rich Basirico, and Hall of Fame sportswriter Curry Kirkpatrick. And someone's going under the bus.
Oh, we'll have a whole lot of people go under the bus in the next few minutes. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. We're all a little bundled up, and yet Curry and Rich are in Florida, and I'm still in South Carolina. Maybe we're thinking Olympics or thinking the cold fronts that are going through. We are taping this on State of the Union night, so we will be quick because Curry wants to watch the Supreme Court justices walk in. I think any Supreme Court justice who doesn't show up should be thrown under the bus because they should all come in and take the wrath of Khan and
wrath of Khan.
go from there. Final thoughts on the Olympics. We're going to talk about the State of the Union of sports and the sports we love, but let's first start out with some Olympic thoughts. It's over. The U.S. did pretty well in the end, especially the two hockey teams, winning in overtime against Canadians, although they played 3-on-3 in the overtimes. Thoughts, guys?
Well, Curry, here's my thought on the Canadian with the men's group. They're talking about. Obviously Canada outplayed us. There's no question about that. They outshot us 42-28, but we won. We scored 2 goals. They scored 1. What are they complaining about? The 3-on-3 in overtime wasn't something the U.S. came up with and said, "Hey, let's play 3-on-3." Right. They're blaming that as one of the reasons why I didn't do as well, because it was 3-on-3. It should have been 5-on-5. You can't complain. That's the rules. You go by the rules. What else can you say? And then McKinnon came out and said, "You be the judge of who was the better team." Well, who won? Scoreboard. Who had more goals than they did? We had 2. They had 1. It's simple. Scoreboard. We won.
Scoreboard, McKinnon. Scoreboard.
Exactly. Exactly.
I thought that John Cooper, the Canadian coach, though, he was talking about the 3-on-3, that it's not real hockey. Well, then he kind of stepped it back by saying, we all knew the rules. We all knew this was going to happen, 3-on-3. And of course, the Canadians won a game 3-on-3 early in the tournament.
Right.
So they kind of walked it back. But I thought one of the really neat things that went undiscovered was Jack Hughes has been dating the Canadian pop star Tate McRae, and and this has been a huge thing. All the Canadian fans are insisting that Tate break up with Jack Hughes. if going online, really seriously, they're really upset at her for continue, even if there is a relationship. Nobody really knows if there is, but they're supposed to be. But they want it to end right now. I thought just off the top of my head, I couldn't find anything negative to say about the Olympics, especially after the 2 great hockey finals. But I will say that I'll go under the bus to Jack Hughes' 3 front teeth, which couldn't stay in his mouth after that brutal hit by the tough guy Sam Bennett, gets his stick in Hughes's face, but the teeth weren't about to stay in. And I thought Hughes was really funny after the game. He said he looked around, he knew he'd gotten a penalty, but he looked on the ice and there was his teeth. But Rich, as you and I talked about earlier, the U.S. had a 5-4 advantage there. For 4 minutes, except that then Hughes made a high sticking penalty himself that wiped out the last minute.
He tripped the guy. He missed the puck, and then the guy stole the puck, and then he tripped the guy. I thought that was over when that happened. I really did, because Canada had the advantage there.
He did too, because he said after the game he thought he was going to be the Barstool Sports villain of the piece, that he cost the team the gold after that. He was so upset that he tripped the guy. And, he said afterward. But, I thought it was quite a Olympics for the Hughes family. The mom used to be, she used to be on the world team. The dad has been a hockey lifer. He's been an executive in the NHL. And then Jack, and of course his brother Quinn, he won the semifinal, the quarterfinal game against Sweden, or they would never be in the final.
That's right.
So I read about his uncle also is a sociologist named Adam Weinberg. This is the Hughes family, who is the president of Denison University. So they've got a lot of smarts in that family.
A lot of good things going on. Ratings were up 96%.
Wow.
Over the last Winter Olympics.
I will say though that I'm putting the whole golden winning hockey team under the bus for inviting the scumbag FBI director Kash Patel into the locker room, where he proceeded to do his frat boy imitation, chugging beer and throwing F-bombs and, even taking the call from Trump and then, using F-bomb. I mean, Kash Patel is a total disaster. He reminds me of Rich, you said last week, you didn't like the Canadian women's response to receiving their silver medals.
Yeah.
Did you see the Canadian men receiving their medal? And they also gave them that stuffed.
That's stupid.
As we saw the little stuffed toy. Yeah, except that's the Olympic. That was the official Olympic mascot, which is called a stoat, which is a type of weasel. Which is ironic because we had the weasel in our locker room after the game in Kash Patel. And then Trump.
But Curry, what are grown men going to do with a stuffed animal?
Yeah,
especially the losing team. If you were on the losing team, would you want to accept a stuffed animal? Even if you're on the winning team, would you want to accept a stuffed animal? Give him something. I don't know. Give him jelly beans, something, but stop with the stuffed animal type of thing. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
What girlfriends? Hey, what is it about Curry? To back up just a bit, what is it about performers, female performers, and hockey players? Candace Cameron married Pavel Bure. Isn't what's her name? That a great country star now is married to a hockey player in Nashville.
Yeah.
I know you. Isn't the great singer that does the Sunday night? She's married. She's been married to a hockey player for a long time.
I don't
How about the sideline report? How about the sideline reporter for is it ESPN that is married to a hockey player?
Well, what's Fox. She was at ESPN.
Right.
Fox. Why am I blanking out on?
Because we're all old. That's why.
Well, meanwhile, the women, of course, the women's gold medal winning team was invited by Trump to the State of the Union, and they've all, in good stead, refused to go. They're not going. So who should step in and offer the women a big party in Las Vegas? But Flavor Flav. Our boy Flav got online and said, "Well, the women, we're going to have a big party in Las Vegas for the women's team." So they won't be left out.
Well, that was great. That's a whole lot more fun. Hey, speaking of old men, as Rich was just a moment ago, how about the one little bit of news this week? Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao are going to fight again in the Sphere in September, 11 years after their original fight. The two are combined 96 years old.
Are they going to come in there with walkers or canes as they walk into the ring?
Talk about a couple of guys who obviously
they need money. They need money.
Well, Pacquiao just fought somebody, this year. I think I remember, but I don't think Floyd's put on the gloves for a long time, right? How long has he been retired? I mean.
Yeah, one of them is supposed to fight Tyson sometime this summer too.
Oh, that's Mayweather. That's Mayweather. What a joke! What a joke! I mean, come on. Yeah.
Well, that. Then we'll use that as the setup, and we'll take a break. We'll use that as the setup of the state of sports, the State of the Union of sports. Boxing, not so good. This is what we got to talk about boxing. We'll be back. We're going to take a short break. We'll talk about the State of the Union in different sports when we come back and throw some more folks under the bus. Welcome back to Under the Bus. Bob Stevens along with Curry Kirkpatrick and Rich Basirico. To lead off our sports to discuss, I guess, let's quickly mention that Pat Riley got a statue unveiled in L.A. At the down to the big arena they play at now. That they put his statue between Magic's and Kareem's. That's probably right where he belongs. The king of the Showtime Lakers. How do you guys think the NBA is doing as a sport?
I
Go
think
ahead, Rich.
most people watch the NBA when playoffs begin. When I ever talk to my friends, it's all about. I don't even turn it on at all. I don't watch any of it. And I honestly, I don't. I'm a big Knicks fan. I watch a little bit of it. I have not watched the whole game this season, but I will watch during the playoffs. I'm just intrigued by the playoffs. They play better. They play better together. They play better defense. They get after it. Now it's just. You're kind of on your own, do your own thing, one-on-one, other four guys standing around and watch. Hardly any defense. Obviously for kids who get involved, who love dunks and those kind of things, it's, I guess, entertaining. But right now, I don't know a lot of people that watch the NBA right now.
Well, I've been intrigued. I've been intrigued this year by these new teams that have come out of nowhere to be the best teams in their division. I'm talking about Detroit and San Antonio, especially. And they played last night in Detroit, and San Antonio won. And I think they held Cade Cunningham, who's become a superstar, to 6 for 25, and that's mostly because the guy that plays for San Antonio is a 7'4" guy, Rich. I don't. I'm like you. I wait to the playoffs, but watching Wembanyama is just an experience. I don't know how anybody scores on him. He is really an unbelievable basketball player. The kid is and he's still so young. But San Antonio. I read this up yesterday. I think they're 8-1 against the best teams in the East and the best teams in the West, and they've beaten Oklahoma City, the champions, 3 times. Yeah. And Wembanyama is the guy most responsible for. He's just unbelievable. Yeah. I don't know how you stop him when he gets the. Well, you don't.
You don't stop.
He can shoot threes.
Right.
He runs like a deer, and he blocks you, but from behind. These guys, it's unbelievable to watch 6'8", 6'9" guys go into the lane, and he's there, and they won't shoot it. They throw back. They can't shoot it because it's going to be blocked.
Well, he's 7'4" to begin with, right? And he's long. Yeah. The thing that stopped them, San Antonio, is when he gets hurt. He does get hurt, it seems like every year. But he is a heck of a player. He really is. And Curry, you mentioned he can shoot from the perimeter. The thing about it is when you extend out defensively on him, he'll put it on the floor and go right by you, and then it's all over. No one can stop him when he goes to the basket. Yeah. So, he's pretty amazing. San Antonio has a shot to win it all.
I think
to be one of those top 5 all-time kind of players.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, easily. He's already. Yeah. He's going to break every record imaginable. I think. He's probably not going to last as long as LeBron, and but he surely, if he stays healthy for a minimum of his 10-year career, it's going to be amazing. I think San Antonio, because they've now built a team around him, some really good players around him, and they've always been a good franchise, as we know.
Well, Popovich, it's a shame Popovich's health declined because he would have been a great, they're being well coached now, but he would have been great for him to still be coaching them.
Yeah, I think his impact is still there. Hey, while we're talking basketball, I got a college game going on behind me, Duke and Notre Dame, which is not a game. But anyway, where is college basketball in a good place?
Curry, Curry, you covered it for so many years. You should answer that one. But I just real quick, I think so. I really do. Outside of every team every year changes. I dislike that part of it, the transfer portal and the money and all that. But because you can't really pull for your team, and then Curry's a huge Chapel Hill guy. His team will be totally different next year. I'm a St. John's and Villanova guy, and those teams would be totally different next year. But the game itself, the competition and the players and the athletes are amazing what they do. So I'll stop there. Let Curry take over because he
Well,
covered it for so many years.
usually about this time they say, "Oh, a lot of teams can win it," but I don't think that's true in most years. This year, it is. I think there are 8 or 10 teams that are capable of winning the championship, and that makes it exciting. And Michigan just played Duke in a great game over the weekend, and they look like the number 1 and 2 teams. But who knows? I think it's last year, of course, the top 4 made the Final Four. It was the second time ever that the top 4 teams made the Final Four. Seldom happens. It probably won't happen this year.
Right.
So I think it's great. But Bob, I think you mentioned all the sports. It seems to me that all the major sports are in such a good place now. Hockey is going to be so advanced because of the Olympics. I think. Hockey's going to really,
particularly I think women's hockey. There is professional women's hockey. You can't find it on TV, but it's got to be there someplace. I think ESPN after college basketball is going to start putting women's sports on
Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday night up against NBC, which has got baseball after of course football and basketball. But I think they're going to have a place to be showcased. I think college women's basketball is just absolutely terrific right now. That they're just that there are 3 or 4 big teams, and there are a whole lot of teams who hate them and are chasing them. That's what I like about women's basketball is there are white hats and black hats, and the people are pick a side, and there are good people and there are the enemy. It seems like more in women's hoops.
Well, and if you switch to football now, of course, the NFL has become the king of all sports in America, and it's almost year round now. The NFL is so popular. They're having the combine started this week, right? And it's wall to wall coverage on ESPN. It's like it might as well be the start of the regular season, and it's the combine. I don't even know what that is half the time, but everybody watches the combine, and NFL's popularity is off the charts. But it hasn't taken away from the interest in college football. I don't think college football had a great season this year.
Yes, yeah.
Because again, a lot of teams that Indiana, who would ever have thought Indiana would come from nothing to be the champion, and that just it just explodes the interest in sports, I think.
What would Bobby Knight? What would Bobby Knight think of what Indiana did in football?
I don't know. I don't think he ever got along with the football coaches at Indiana. I'm sure that didn't happen.
Don't think he.
I think Bobby Knight would have a hard time coaching in today's world. I really do. I think a lot of guys would be leaving right and left. His style of coaching. He's not alone in that. There's several coaches that would have a hard time coaching in this today, and you have to adapt. I've heard Pitino say that years ago. He says it's not the way it used to be. You especially with TV coverage and the cameras are right in the huddle and everything else. I heard him at a clinic once saying, there's things I want to say to my players, but all I say is, okay, you can do good, Johnny. You can do good, because he knows the cameras are right there in the huddle and can't say the things he wants to say. It's changed the makeup of the game a little bit, but it's a great game. It's fun to watch.
The fact that these college kids are now getting paid, the coaches can't be tough on them anymore.
No, not at all.
They can't be. I once, when Knight was in full flower at Indiana, 60 Minutes did a piece on him. And they couldn't get anybody to say anything. They couldn't get any coaches to say anything negative about him. They called me because I had written about him a lot. No, seriously, they called me, and I was on with Dan Rather, and sat around and did about a 10-minute interview on Knight. And he asked me at that point, Knight was, every time they had an opening in the pros, people were speculating how would Bobby Knight go to the NBA and be an NBA coach. So Rather, one of his key questions to me, he asked me, how would Knight do in the NBA? And I said he'd last about 10 minutes because he'd say something, and a player would punch him in the face. And now that's at the college level. I think if Knight came back and talked to a college kid, he'd get his head punched in.
Yeah, he wouldn't last. He would not last. He could unless he changed his philosophy on how he's going to handle kids and so forth.
Yeah.
I mean, he's old school, big time old school, and old school typically doesn't work in today's world.
While we're
What about baseball, Bob? What about
well,
baseball?
I want to get to baseball. I want to, since we were talking football, I got a football question for the two of you guys. I think the biggest thing that's going to happen in sports in the next 5 years, 10 years particularly, but maybe before 5, by the next Olympics is going to be flag football.
Yeah.
Watch
Flag
the
football?
NFL is throwing a whole lot of money into it. It's going to be in the Olympics in 2 years. Girls can play it.
Girls can play it.
It is now it is now a higher participant level sport in high schools than football, the regular football. I think flag football is just going to become enormous. I was just talking to an athletic director down here where they don't have it in South Carolina, and said, "Are you guys talking about it?" And he says, "Oh, every meeting we get together and say, how are we going to do this? Because they got to figure out how to get it started." But I think it's going to be huge. Girls,
it's on national TV. I mean, I've watched games on TV with girls, especially girls playing it, and parents who don't want their kids to play football because of concussions and so forth say, "Go for it. Go play flag football. I just don't want you to play tackle football." So I totally agree with you, Bob.
I'm not sure it's violent enough to make a real impact on national.
I'm not so sure that is the violence what draws people to pro football?
I think the hitting. I think in the NFL, I think the hitting, and the blocking and tackling and all that stuff.
Yeah,
flag football doesn't have that, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. They're just grabbing their flags. That's it.
I'm not sure I'm all in on that.
All right, let's take a break.
We'll
talk baseball. We'll talk the other sports too, which have got to find a niche. Maybe a vote for NASCAR coming back. We'll talk about it when we come back and throw some other folks under the bus. Welcome back, Under the Bus, a special State of the Union edition of Under the Bus. Bob Stevens along with Curry Kirkpatrick and Rich Basirico. All right, you asked me about baseball, Curry. Baseball is in a great place, but is about to run right smack into its own wall by having either a lockout or a strike or something, because they have to negotiate a new deal this coming off season. I watched a spring training game on Saturday on TV.
So did Rich.
Great fun. God, it was good to see baseball back. It was.
Yeah. I was at a game yesterday. I saw the Pirates play the Yankees. Man, it was cold too. It was windy and cold. I went with my wife, my son, and my granddaughter, and it was fun. But we had to leave after the 6th inning. It was so darn cold. But it's fun watching guys who are trying to make the team. And some of these young blood guys, it's fun to watch. It really is. I can tell you one thing about the Yankees, that Spencer Jones, the 6'7" guy who they've been raving about and so forth, he will be sent down by the end of spring training, without a doubt. His first time up in the first game, which I did not see, he had a home run. Everybody was just foaming at the mouth. And then his next 2 times he struck out. Yesterday he struck out twice. And walk once. So he's had what, four strikeouts, 1 hit, 1 walk. I don't see it happening. I think the Yankees, what should do is they should trade him before his value is somewhat up there. Let him go, because he just can't. It's crazy because he can hit a bomb like he does, and then he looks foolish the other times up at bat. I mean, they were throwing it right by him, by him.
It's going to be fun to watch. The ABS system, the automatic balls.
They used that a lot yesterday. I bet you Yankees did it 3 times and they were successful 3 times. The Pirates did it 3 times and they were unsuccessful twice. So They did use it for sure.
Yeah,
Does it
and
does
it'll
it
be fun to see all of
does it
that. There's
does
actually
it
going to
slow
be
it
a strategy
does
to it
it
that
sl-
teams are talking
does
about.
it slow it down too much for you
No,
guys?
no,
No,
not at
it's
all. I mean,
fine.
they just tap ahead, and then
Look
you
at
look at
this.
the scoreboard, and within 20 seconds, they're
Yeah.
showing if it was in or out. One time, it was they had like bases loaded, and I think they said it was a ball, which would have the guy would have walked, and they touched their helmet or whatever, and it ended up being a strikeout, it's inning over.
Wow.
So it was so it was
Made
big
a
time.
difference. Yeah.
It
So
made
it's
a big
unlike
difference.
I heard
so it's unlike
a general manager for the Guardians. They were asking him, "How are you guys going to decide who can
Yeah.
who can protest, who can tap the helmet and whatever?" And he basically did let on that the pitchers are not. He's not going to let his pitchers do it. He
Oh,
says
is that right?
the pitchers. It's all about emotion. They think every pitch they throw is a strike.
Right. Sure.
So,
Sure.
so
Sure.
he says,
Sure.
I'm not going to let the pitchers do it.
Well,
We'll let
yesterday
the
a pitcher did it. Yesterday a pitcher did it, and
Yeah.
mostly it was the catcher, but the
Yeah.
pitcher did it once. Yep.
Oh.
So we'll see. Curry, to answer your question, it does not take away from the game
yeah.
at all. I mean, it's
So
really
it's unlike
done quickly.
it's unlike college basketball where the referees go over to
Oh
the
God.
table and then take 20 minutes, not 20 seconds,
No,
to
this is
figure
over
out a call.
inside of 15 seconds. I mean, they
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
boom. They look at the scoreboard, and everybody in the ballpark knows.
That's
It's
right.
not even
It's kind of
more you
cool,
gotta wait
actually.
to see
I like
it.
it. I do like it. But Curry, talking about the basketball, the guys, the officials go over to the monitor.
Oh,
How come the television station shows it 5 times, and you say, "Oh, that was out of bounds on number 12."
We can see it on the
And you
second
can
showing.
see it 5 times, and then they're there for 10 more minutes. Like, what are they looking at? Are they not
Yeah.
looking at the same thing we're looking at? Why did it take so long? It takes away from the game. As a coach and a player, man, you have the momentum in the game, and all of a sudden that's taken away from you because the official's got to walk over there and look for, like Curry says, for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's too long. They should put a time limit on it.
Yeah.
Curry,
So-
your Cardinals are going to be interesting this year. I don't think
How?
they're going to be any good, but they're not.
How? Why? How? Why? They've sold everybody. They've sold them all off.
So
They don't have
so
any
they got a
players.
good young
Don't have any
team. They're
players
gonna
left.
figure out what they got. They're going to have fun.
Fun, yeah.
Fun
They're
at the
not gonna
bottom.
beat the Cubs.
Yeah.
While we're talking about other sports, I made a couple of notes. I noticed the Daytona 500. NASCAR has really taken a beating in the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years. The Daytona 500 used to be a thing, and now
Hey, but wait a minute. Michael Jordan's won the last 2 races.
Thank you. That's why I was just going there. Jordan loses in court to NASCAR, but he does what Jordan has always done. Beat me once, I'll find a way to beat you twice, and he wins the Daytona 500, and then wins the next race.
Wins another one. Yeah.
He's created a
gotten in.
dynasty. I think that's
He
great.
looked more excited. He looked more excited than he did when he won the NBA championship. And he said afterward, "Yeah, I feel like I'm the champion." I mean, he's the owner, for God's sakes, right? He never goes near the car, right? I don't know.
But I think that's great, and I think that's a chance. NASCAR's got a chance to rebound because of that sort of thing. I mean, you've got people are going to start watching. Gee, how's Jordan's car doing? And
That's true.
Once you get something to root for, NASCAR's fun.
Yeah.
Other sports, we talked about hockey. Tennis. Curry, where's tennis? Is it a good place or a bad place?
Well, as long as this rivalry stay, the top 2 guys stay playing each other and stay healthy, it'd be great. But that's one aspect of it. The other is nobody's caring about anybody else in the game except these 2 guys now, which is kind of a problem, I think. So, and the
women's tennis.
Our American girls, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I think, it's been dominated by the Slovakians, and we don't have, except for who's the gal that won the French last year? Our young golf, Coco.
Yeah.
Coco is like our number 1 player, but she seems to have hit a I don't know if it's her peak, but she can't get through past the quarterfinals the last several majors.
Yeah.
So I was gonna bring up your golf
Yeah.
Bob, because I want to, a week ago, the guy that hit the ball on the beach on the 18th, and we had to wait 2 hours for him to hit the ball before, and I wanted him thrown out of the game.
Yeah.
Bridgman, he comes
Yeah.
back this week and wins the tournament.
And wins at Riviera. How about that?
And I'd never heard of him.
Yeah, what a great story. Nobody had ever heard of him until he hit it on the beach last week. And yeah, now he's the king of California. Kid Clemson of all places. And,
But Bridgman,
is that right?
Yeah.
Bridgman is still not related to Junior, though, right?
Still not related to Junior.
I don't think so.
But he is stating curiously that the tour now moves back to Florida, where you guys are. The tour is going to be in Florida for the next 4 or 5 weeks, and Bridgman is best friends with this Chris Gotterup, who's already won twice this year. They share a house when they're on the road. Gotterup didn't play this week in California, but they're going to knock. That Sunday night or Monday morning or whatever. It was Bridgman knocking on the door saying, "Hey, roommate, I'm here for the week to play here," and they've got 3 wins between them already this season. Pretty good karma.
Yeah.
I think I'd hang out with those guys.
Well, stories like that help the sport, doesn't it? I mean, when you hear
Sure.
stories like that, then you're intrigued to kind of watch and see what's going to happen next.
And everybody in the golf world is still way overboard on. So what's Tiger going to do?
Right. That's right.
He says the Masters is not out, but I can't see him playing.
There's no way. I don't know why he says stuff like that. Just to get everybody excited that he might play. He's not going to play.
And you don't think he's going to be the Ryder Cup captain? I don't know about that one either.
Well, that's 2 years from now.
I know, but that's another decision. He says he's going to indicate if he's going to be the captain or not.
Yeah, I think he wants to figure out still if he wants to play, if he can play or not. He might. What will help golf is if he comes back and plays the senior tour, where he can ride in a cart,
right.
And he can play, he can be there, he can draw crowds, he could be huge to help senior golf, which is Nicklaus did it, Palmer did it.
I'm going to predict he's not going to do it. I'm going to predict he's not going to play on the senior tour. I think Tiger feels he's above stuff like that.
I agree with you, Curry. I don't think he doesn't like the word senior. He doesn't like to hear that name, senior.
And he surely doesn't want to lose to any of those guys.
So somebody needs to tell that cowboy that he is now.
That's right. Join the crowd.
World, buddy.
Join the crowd, man. Join the crowd.
I think he'll play. He'll do what Nicklaus did.
Do you really?
Early on. I think he'll play the majors, the senior majors, the very best tournaments.
Oh, well.
But the ones that he doesn't have to walk. If there's a couple of those that he can play, he'll still do that because he still just loves the competition. And you know this, Rich. Guys love competition.
Absolutely.
And competitors, particularly at that level, they got to have something. That's why they did this indoor golf thing.
And that's why these guys gamble like they do. Jordan, Barkley, all those guys, they gamble because of the competition. They can't handle that they don't play any longer. So they bet on things. I mean, those guys are known, big time bettors. So it's hard to walk away from it and say, I don't want to, what am I going to do? Jordan's been, he gets on the golf course, he plays cards, he does it all. Yeah. And every time they get together, they got to gamble on something. So, but one of the things he's going to follow his son around too. His son committed to Florida State.
Right.
So you got to imagine he would go probably to all his matches and watch him play. So,
you talk about the one thing as good a position as sports is in so many situations, that to me is still the one thing that could bring it all down, and that's gambling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It has become so prevalent, and a scandal that could easily wreck. Baseball is going to make it through the little gambling scandal that's going on now with the 2 Guardians pitchers, but boy, that's anything bigger than that is going to be trouble. Could happen, has happened in college basketball in the past, and could certainly happen again. And boy, I worry about all that.
Well, and think about look at Pete Rose. How sad is that? He's deceased now, and he's not in the Hall of Fame because of gambling.
Yeah.
You know, and there's stories that we don't even know about that obviously have gone on, and we just don't know. But think about this: gambling has been going on forever, and it's illegal. Now it's not illegal in certain states and so forth. But here you are. I used to say it's illegal, but every newspaper in the country posts, the odds in it. Like, okay, this team is favored by 7. Those team is, well, if it's illegal, why are you allowed to put it in the paper? I mean, I guess you could put anything in the paper, but they're encouraging it. They had shows on Saturday morning where you could go on and watch a show, and they have a panel of 3 guys saying, this is who you should bet on this week. So it's illegal, but we're encouraging it through media, through newspapers, and so forth. So, but it's going on all around us.
The gambling sites, are in them.
Yeah.
They're there now. I mean, they're
all over. They average on TV. It's like every time you turn the TV on, there's something about it.
I think did we take our last break?
Yes.
Okay, good.
This is the third segment.
Let's throw somebody under the bus and get out of here.
Okay.
You got one Rich to go?
I do. I have this is baseball, player for the Cubs. Is Crow Armstrong. Bob, yes. I'm sure you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
So he was talking about the Cubs. He's talking about Chicago. What a great city. So here's his quote. It's just an incredible city. They aren't just baseball fans who go to the games like the Dodger fans who go just to take pictures and whatever. So he threw under the Dodgers because he felt the fans in LA just go there to take pictures. That's all they're concerned about. So I got a kick out of that. So I'm throwing him under the bus.
I got a as you probably would know, I have a college basketball coach. Another one. This was really funny at a press conference, but Kentucky Auburn played on the weekend, and two teams struggling to really stay on the bubble, on the right side of the bubble. Auburn had lost like 5 in a row. Kentucky lost 2 in a row, and they go down to the final seconds, and Kentucky's about to win the game. They got a 1-point lead, and they got the ball. Auburn throws it in. I mean, Kentucky throws it in, and this kid, Colin Chandler, backs up to get the ball, and they call a charging foul on him, an offensive charging foul, which gives the ball to Auburn with like 12 seconds left. They go down, and they win the game on a tip-in. I mean, an unbelievable lucky tip-in. But the call on Chandler was terrible. So now Mark Pope, the Kentucky coach, is in a press conference, and he's about to burst. I mean, he's holding it in, and he finally gets through, and he starts to leave, and he doesn't know that the mic is still on. Oh. But as he's leaving the table, he sees his Kentucky athletic director, Mitch Barnhart, and here's the quote as he's leaving. He thinks it's all off. He says, Mitch, if those mother effers try to find me, screw them. I did not say one thing about the way they cheated us. And the mic picked up everything. And the next day, Monday, he got fined, 25 large. Unbelievable.
You gotta always know, huh? Hey, I'm gonna throw all of us old people under the bus. We've already discussed it with Tiger Woods. Philip Rivers' son, Gunnar, is going to college to be a quarterback at Rivers' alma mater. Philip will probably be ready for his 25th reunion when Gunnar is the starting quarterback. And Philip might play next year in the NFL. And yet Gunner's going to NC State and gonna play where Dad played, and where nobody there almost probably remembers that Philip played there because he's been a pro for so long. We're all getting way too old, gang.
Yeah,
way too old. I agree.
That made me think the same thing. Yeah.
All right. Hey, let's go watch the State of the Union.
Okay.
Go ahead, Curry. Watch it.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Let us know, and we'll be back next week, and we'll throw a whole bunch of new people under the bus.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.